Hey guys, this is SolarRack333 with another review, and here I have the Star Wars Black Series Holiday Troopers, and let's say I guess I am 9 months late on reviewing these guys, but there's a reason. Now, I found one of these at GameStop back last November. These things were so hard to find. Now, I had no interest in buying these at all except for one. And it wasn't either of these, but the reason I bought these is because they had a Porg, and my wife likes Porgs, and so I thought I would get her one of these because of the Porg. Unfortunately, the hips were fused, and so every time I tried to articulate the action figure, it just bended the plastic until finally it just broke, and it sucked because I couldn't return it. They were so hard to find, so I was stuck with them. Then I bought a second one on eBay for a decent price, and so I had the pair, and so one was really good and then the other one was damaged, and you know, I just made sure not to pose them. Now, the reason I had one and then bought a second one is so that they can be Santa's helper. So here I have the other. I think this one was the Target exclusive, and obviously I did a head swap with Kurt Russell, and I think that looks awesome. Now, I didn't realize that Kurt Russell had done a Santa Claus movie, so this is perfect. And this Kurt Russell Santa Claus has a gun. That gun came from the Cobra Commander Classifieds figure. There he is, looking pretty cool. But I still had this issue, and it annoyed me that the hips were damaged. Now, I want you to guess which one was repaired. Was it this one? Or this one. Haha. So yeah, I actually repaired it, and now I have to do one final step, but yeah, he now has full articulation, and yeah, so I had to take the figure apart. I used hot water, but apparently all I did was actually break it. So that's actually broken, but that didn't bother me since I was going to take it apart. I figured, oh well. And then what I had to do was pry it apart from the seam here, and that was tricky. Yeah, I try not to damage the plastic, but what I wound up doing was using an X-Acto knife and just kind of carved a little bit at a time on both sides until finally I was able to crack it open. And then once I did, I was able to take the insides apart, and I had to sacrifice one of these guys, one of these Shadow Troopers, I guess. Now, I don't care about clone troopers. I really don't. The prequels, you know, were a huge disappointment. You know, and so I really don't care about the clone troopers. Stormtroopers, yes. Clone troopers, no. So I just waited until I was able to get my hands on a clone trooper and took it apart. So here he is, and swapped out the hip joint. Now, the hip joints are actually different, so I actually had to take it apart and then do some modifications inside the hip joint to make it fit. But once I did, it actually worked. And then the next step was to paint the new hip joint to match the old. Yeah, and I actually did a pretty good job of it. When I was done, I actually asked my wife to guess which one was the repaired one, and she actually guessed correctly because she knew what to look for. And what I used the same burgundy paint that I made for my Redskins Mandalorian that I did a while back. So I had some of that paint left over, and then just painted it on and then put it all together. And the difference between the paint and the molded plastic is the paint has kind of a gloss finish, and so she knew to look for the gloss finish. But it's done. All I got to do is glue this together. I glued the piece at the seam there. Now you can see a little bit of the plastic was warped when taking it apart, you know, there and there, but that's all right. It's mine. So there they are, Black Series Holiday Troopers modified. Normally I do like getting stormtroopers in pairs, so this guy will just be alone. Maybe he'll just be a squad leader among the other stormtroopers I have. But there they are, my holiday stormtroopers, all repaired. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.